I'm like, what's your opinion? Like, no one has an opinion. Everyone's afraid of having the wrong opinion.
You're so right.
She had 50,000 followers. Our first interview with her, 45 million views on YouTube. It was Charlie D'Amelio. It was one of the most intense, crazy crowds, like in terms of fighting. Like, I'm not an it girl, I'm that girl. But like, but the logistics, but me and my friends were just making that joke.
My name is Curly.
And I'm Maya. The Super Secret Bestie Club podcast season 4 is here.
And we're locked in.
That means more juicy chisme,
Terrible love advice.
evil spells to cast on your ex.
No, we're not doing that this season.
Oh, well, this season we're leveling up.
Each episode will feature a special bestie, and you're not going to want to miss it. So what are you waiting for? Get in here!
Oh my God, Coco Mocoe's coming today, Curly.
Coco Mocoe, is that like a cookie or a pastry or something
Well,
like that?
I don't know. It's Coco Mocoe.
It sounds very creamy.
Ooh, she's here.
Hi. I'm a human.
Hot.
But you can eat me if you want.
Oh,
Dirty. Sounds like a dare.
yum.
Get in here!
Cute. Welcome, Coco Mocoe's here.
Yay!
Oh, I know everybody's
Welcome
like,
to the
how did you
clubhouse.
get her?
Coco Mocoe.
Coco
Yeah.
Mocoe.
Can we start there? Like, where did that name come
Yeah.
from?
Oh my God. It's so funny because no one's ever like asked me on a podcast, but anytime I meet people in person, it's the first thing they ask. But it's because in college, my friends would call me Loco Hot Coco as a joke. So you guys know me from our job, and my
Yes.
real name's Colleen. And so I didn't want to make that my username in case like my coworkers found my TikTok. I'm like, I don't know, like that's embarrassing. So then I was like, I'll do Coco Loco. That was taken. And then the letter next to L on the alphabet is M. So then I was like Coco Moco, and then I threw an E at the end.
I'm glad you did that because
Yeah.
moco
I'm
in
sure Latino
Spanish
people
is
told
you.
booger.
Yes, people always that. Sometimes my comments will be like, you know, that means like sugar burger or something.
Yeah, like Coco
Or-
Booger. Yeah, Coco
Yeah,
Booger.
but it's
Yeah.
and it was crazy. So like,
cute.
spoiler. I mean, we're gonna get into it later. Like,
Yeah.
we all used to work at BuzzFeed together.
Yay!
And I did not like. I saw you at an Apple TV Plus event. It was for the studio, and we like met Seth Rogen. It was like a whole magical
Yes,
night,
that was so.
right?
And then Kayla knew who you were.
Oh yeah. And I was
my
like, you
God.
like caught that moment. It was like really, really cute. And I was like, Coco Mocoe. I'm like, wait, I know you. And you're like, it's me, Colleen. Like
Aw,
from
I
social.
love
I'm like,
that.
duh. And I was already following
idea.
you and
Wait,
everything.
that's so
and I didn't make the
crazy.
connection. So it was like two different people in my
I
head.
love that so much.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was probably talking to you like we knew each other already, and you're like, how does
I was
Coco
like,
already know
she's
me?
So she just like acts like she knows me already.
Yes.
It's because we did.
And in your defense, I felt like all of us only really interacted on Slack, except a few
I
times
was
in
gonna
the
say that. I feel
office.
like
Right.
wasn't that like during the era of like COVID?
Yes,
Like, weren't we
Yeah.
I
like,
started at BuzzFeed March 16th, 2020. So it was the
Okay.
day
I feel like
they
I
sent
remember
everyone
us
home.
on Zoom together a lot, and we were like trying to figure out like
How to do TikTok.
how to find my niche, how to find my thing,
Yes.
and you were helping, and you were like, "This is what we think," and I already was like, you know, now I feel like I'm back at it, but back then I was like, I'm tired, like I don't know
we're
what
exhausted.
what to do, what my lane is, and then you were there, kind of super like to be helpful and kind.
Yes.
Always been that. Like I remember when I was like blowing up on Reels, like the
Yeah,
first
I
time, you were like congratulating me
Yeah.
and like she's a real one. That's what I
Yeah,
was
so
telling like
nice.
Thank you.
Niche
Yeah.
Prada last night, which we have like. Well, let me read your bio first. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
our
yeah, yeah.
ADHD is going crazy. Okay, Coco Mocoe is a content creator, marketing strategist, and a trend forecaster known for her sharp insights into pop culture, creator culture, and digital media. I added this. Basically, she's an internet baddie queen who knows what's hot and what's not.
Yeah, what's
And she's
not?
also her own creator, entity, human being,
Sweetheart.
and sweetheart. Like, girl, your fits, like
thank
your
you.
pictures.
Thank you.
Yeah, you really got a lot of love last night. We had a really serendipitous moment last night. It was actually my first dinner situation at my place. I just moved.
Curly bought a house. You want to say that on the podcast?
Yeah, I
Curly's a
just moved.
homeowner.
I'm currently a homeowner, and so I had my girlies over for the first time. Super impromptu, like wasn't planned at all. Empress was like, "When are we gonna come over?" And I was like,
Empress of
was like, "When are we and I'm like, I don't know, Sunday." She's like, "That's too far away, like tonight." And so she texted Mish Prada on our group chat. And then we were talking because our launch date was
For the
in real time.
podcast.
Our podcast was yesterday.
Yeah, August 13th.
So we were like, just come to the house. Like, we'll order food. Come on in. And we start talking about like social media, and Mish Prada, who is just this phenomenal human actress talent, starts to kind of lean into this creator that she really loves. And she starts to talk about like the importance of this creator. And she's like, yeah, and her name is, and in real time, me and Maya were like, there's no
Like, she's not
fucking
gonna say
way
Coco.
that
Because
she's
the
about to say
next day,
Coco.
today, we're interviewing Coco.
Coco, yeah, like there's no fucking way. And then she literally goes, Coco Mocoe, and we go,
We're literally interviewing her tomorrow.
Oh my
our vaginas opened up
I
in
know.
sweet, warm embrace and said, look at God
Well,
and
that's
serendipity.
crazy.
So, and I also want to get into, you've been a culture forecaster, like as they say, and you've been like reporting on like what's, going to be trending and on like creators and stuff. But you started like at BuzzFeed. You said also you worked at Famous Birthdays.
Yes, that was where I like
cool.
fine-tuned the skill, was actually at Famous Birthdays.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so when were you like, is it your intuition kind of like leading you towards like, wait, I see, or are you like very analytical and logistical about what's gonna hit?
Yeah, there's like there's a kind of system that I use in my own head, and so and which I'll explain, but I fine-tuned it at Famous Birthdays. That was my first job out of like college and corporate world, and I was there in 2019. They just changed the name from Musical.ly to TikTok.
Right.
And my the guy who owns Famous Birthdays, his name is Evan. He's like brilliant at the internet, and he hired me to just be like, run the TikTok, but also if you think anyone's gonna get famous on TikTok, just like invite them in to interview them, because no one's interviewing these kids yet. So like we'll be the first. So I was like, okay, cool. I started inviting people in, and then one girl I invited in, she had 50,000 followers. Our first interview with her, 45 million views on YouTube. It was Charlie D'Amelio.
Wow.
Oh my
And then we got in
Gosh.
Addison, and then we got in Brittany Broski, and I was like, and some of it was me, some of it was my team. There were also really brilliant people working there too that were part of this. But I was like, okay, wait, this is something I'm good at. Like, I'm good at finding these people. So then because of those videos I produced at Famous Birthdays, I had applied for like a fellowship at BuzzFeed, which is like an internship.
yes,
but they
yes.
reached out and were like, do you just actually want to run our TikTok team?
Dope.
Love
But
it.
yeah, so there's actually like a system when I think someone's about to become famous. It's where what happens first is someone becomes famous by like trial and error. They find something that sticks, then they start repeating it over and over. And then this is how you know it's about to stick, is if people start talking about it from like, I call it like social proof. It's like a third party. So it can't be their friend. It can't be their manager, their team. It has to be like someone random, like a streamer in India brings up Ace from Love Island, and you're like, oh wait, like there's like something happening
Okay,
outside of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
So like with Charlie D'Amelio, I knew she was about to pop off because her TikToks, it was when you could only do like 15 seconds. They would go viral, which is like, that's that second stage, but they're not famous yet. There were like, it became this thing where high schoolers were duetting her TikToks, being like, why does this girl have the hype and stuff? Which was like mean spirited, but it made her famous.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if I see someone start talking about people that aren't in their orbit, I'm like, oh, they're breaking out of their snow globe. Like this thing's about to pop.
Wow. And have you seen that people that's changing? Like the reason for why that might happen has changed. Like, do you feel like people before, you kind of touched up on it, was a little bit of like a hate share. It's a little bit of
Like
like
they
a
have to be
hate.
problematic a little
Yeah,
bit.
it wasn't like, oh my God, I love her so much. It started with a little bit of ill, and then why? Do you think
Yes.
that that's still the way that things happen? Do you think that being problematic is the way to go these days, or?
I don't. So I hate the saying that's like all press is good press, because I don't actually think that's true.
Okay.
But I think what you're hinting at is this walks a fine line with that, where I made a video recently where I was talking about like there's this girl Huda on Love Island that like is so polarizing. Like you're not going to meet someone that watched Love Island that's like, I'm indifferent. People either love her or hate her. And I like, some advice I give when I'm consulting is like, you can't spell popular without a Polar. So there's that
Oh,
polarizing.
I love that. Not me
So
spelling it in
like,
my
yeah,
head.
you're
I was
like, what is that?
spelling?
Yeah. But like also there's that. And so when I made that video, someone in my comment section said something so interesting that was like, in order to be magnetic, you have to be repellent. So there is that feeling of like there's a there, but I think that happens on accident. A lot of people that are polarizing don't mean to be polarizing. Like I think that they're
Okay.
just showing up, and for whatever reason, like people are just polarized by them. But whenever people try to manufacture that, that's when it comes off as like they're trying too hard to like make something, or they're trying to push the boundaries for attention. And audiences are pretty smart at picking up on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting because I do feel like we worked at BuzzFeed but like we were polarizing because of some of the issues we would bring up and talk about, and especially like I would talk about not feeling enough in my culture and like not knowing Spanish and learning Spanish, and like I can see how each of us in our own lane kind of like popped off. And now I feel like a little exhausted. Like I don't want to keep rubbing people the wrong way, or like I don't know, it's like how do you see the future of like content creation and creators who have been seasoned and into it? Like, what is the future? Like, what?
Yeah. Like, is your
What?
question like, can you be polarizing for long?
Like, can you still do it without being polarizing
Because
too?
I've been canceled 3 times, 3.5 times, and I hate
three and
it.
a half.
I hate it
I've
so
been canceled
much.
too.
But
Not really, but,
yeah,
like,
and I'm like, I hate it.
Soft,
And I,
yeah, I've been
Yeah.
soft.
but it's kind of like,
Soft launch to cancel.
yeah.
oh, I've
Soft
had
canceled.
like people create memes about me,
Yeah.
like it go like viral on Twitter, like people like losing a shit ton of followers. By the way, for things that like I didn't have control over, they just were
Okay.
I interviewed Vice President Kamala Harris and got dragged for it. Like,
Wait,
you know what I mean?
what?
Like, yeah,
Okay.
crazy stuff that I'm
Yeah.
like, I get why. Anyways, long story short, but like, and that as you get older in this business and stuff too, like it is exhausting to get. Even Cardi B, I feel like talks about how she's just so tired of like all the hate comments that she gets. Like,
Well, she's fatphobic, so
well, she was just
Not
talking
on-
about
not on
what's
her.
that? Make me and make Tyler.
Tyler.
She
Oh,
was just
yes.
defending Tyler the other day because she was saying how like Tyler doesn't do anything. She's like, Tyler didn't even talk, and Tyler has haters. So it's like, to your point, like what do you do to like a creator? Like how are you gonna like you were saying, like how does somebody who is
like, what if you don't want to be polarizing?
I know. And again, like I think the polarizing happens on accident.
Yeah.
Like there's been times where I've done something that was polarizing and I'm like, I didn't even think that was what they were going to hold on to from that interview
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Like sometimes you can't really control it. I think it's just part of the game. I think what happens with really big creators is they just have a team around them that insulates them. So like someone like a Taylor Swift isn't reading the comments. And so I think like eventually if you are going to be that level of a creator and you want to do this for a long time, you have to find ways to insulate yourself. Also, I would say there's been times where I feel like I've been dragged online. Like for me, like I always tell people I'm like super open about it. I'm like I believe Blake Lively, and like I know that's I'm probably going to get dragged in comments anytime I say that. But coming out of that actually made me more confident, and I think actually gave me an interesting relationship with my audience where I was like, this is what I stand on. At least you guys know I'm not swayed by popular opinion. Like you guys can disagree with me, but like this is, and it kind of made me more confident in myself. I was like, I don't care. Like this is what I think right now. It could change, but I don't care if you guys disagree with me. That's okay.
Yeah.
I just kind of like gained confidence in a way.
Because that's what I find too with a lot of creators is that like and we were literally talking about this at dinner last night, was just like, I do think that when you're young, you're a little reckless. And I just
Yes.
remember like I'm 25 years old, 26 years old, going into BuzzFeed, and I was still working in the kitchen, right? Like I started serving their lunches and they would record me talking. And the reason why I started to go viral so quickly was that with them was because I was reckless with my shit. Because I would be like, that smells like foreskin. And people would be like, oh my God, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
shit like that. And then as I got older and I started getting canceled and dragged, and as I found that it was hurting my feelings, I can understand, like
Yeah.
I'm like, this hurts because I'm not this person that they're painting me
Yes.
to be online. And then you wonder like with younger creators who like, they don't want that. And they don't maybe necessarily have the ability to. Could keep growing. You know what I mean? Like I was still on a major platform where I could be like, what you guys are painting over here is not true, and I can show you with my continued body of work. But maybe some people go like, once I get canceled, that might be the end of it for me. Like, what do you feel about
Yeah.
that? Like,
I do think a lot of people, once they get their first one, are like, this isn't for me. And I totally understand. That's why I always say like, and I'm not the first person to say this. It's kind of this belief that has already existed before me, but that And, you know, virality and fame are on different levels, but that fame can actually be like a type of trauma. And like there's like so many, you go through different stages, like denial that this is happening, and then anger. And like there is that trauma that can happen. Maybe like the three of us, I think, probably have an interesting relationship with it, because like for me, coming from BuzzFeed, I was never on camera at BuzzFeed, but I felt like I learned from the best, like from people that were on camera, like you guys. And it's like and also being at BuzzFeed was polarizing. Even now when I tell people I worked there, people have different opinions, but like I felt insulated in that there were like 100 people on the social team that are monitoring comments.
Yeah,
like
I
don't have
used to
to
call it the
monitor
palace walls.
the palace
Yeah,
walls.
we
Like
lived
we
behind the
didn't
palace
really.
walls,
Maybe
yeah.
it's harder now that we're all doing our own thing, because like I came from a place where it felt insulated, and that like I maybe wasn't the one that I actually was probably the one monitoring the comments for like you guys. Like I'd be
Yeah.
helping post on socials, and like because it wasn't me that was getting the feedback, like it was easier to monitor. But I do think that like there are a lot of people that aren't like, that's why this career isn't always longevity for some people. I think actually the older that you become famous or go viral online, the longer you can last. So like if you're in your mid 20s when it happens or later, you're more set in who you are as a person. You can handle it. Like I think that I would have been reckless and crazy at 21 if I had this
Me
platform.
too.
I would like
For sure.
and I was still like, I think smart and aware and empathetic, but like, yeah, your frontal lobes just like aren't developed. Like I'm not a
Yeah.
doctor, but I'm just saying like
Yeah.
you're just
No,
not
they're
like
not.
there.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
to your point, you mentioned like the brain earlier too. One of my first jobs was working at David LaChapelle Studios, and we would have celebrities there all the time, mega stars, Gaga, Naomi Campbell, Chris Rock. And I have this thing that I always talk about, celebrity brain, where like sometimes you would have a celebrity come in and be like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? Like, what do you want me to say? Oh, okay, I'll sit here. And then you have other celebrities that come in and be like, what's a chair? I don't understand. Like, what do you, like, just gone.
Oh, but like people do things for them that they're almost checked
they're
out.
just gone.
Yeah, like they have
And
no
so-
sense of
yeah.
like reality.
Oh,
And so like
Wow.
even just like talking, I think there's this doctor named Dr. Amen who talks about like the actual structure of the brain. And he was saying that celebrities' brains morph because of all the different chemicals that are going on when you are exposed to huge amounts of fame and
Yeah.
attention. And I feel like on a lot of different levels, these creators, these young people are being hit with all these like chemicals in their brain. And you're kind of just like, it's okay to just want to put up a
So
TikTok.
do you have chemicals in your brain?
You know what's actually so interesting when you say that is something I've noticed since I started interviewing artists, so like more music artists.
Yeah.
But some of the bigger ones that I've interviewed, they all did this. I think it was like subconscious. Like I don't even think they noticed they were doing it. But when we would sit in this movie theater and watch their music videos, and then they would break it down for me. When they began talking about themselves on the screen, they would switch into third person. They'd be like, so she's doing this move. So
Oh,
like Jade did it from Little Mix.
interesting.
Adela was big on Pop Star Academy, Cat's Eye, but then like she got a ton of hate, and now she has a beloved fandom. Again, that like polarizing. And there was one other person I can't think of, but when they were describing their music videos, they were referring to themselves in third person. I think that's like a defense mechanism.
Oh,
And I've actually noticed like
wow.
sometimes I'll do it where if something happens, I'll be like, well, me, Colleen, like I'm at dinner with my parents. Coco's the one who's like getting the hate, like not me.
Oh,
like she can
wow.
handle
I would
it.
be
I
like,
mean,
mine
I
in the
do that.
moment. That's mine in the
Yeah,
moment.
That's
mine
like
is
someone else-
Curly
yeah.
versus Carlitos. So
So
like,
I almost think there's like a switching that happens where it's like, that's why so many of them have like stage names and stuff. Cause it's like that they're dealing with it, not me.
yeah.
By the way,
absolutely.
she has a show with Spotify,
Yes,
right?
called Middle Row. But you can watch it on YouTube, but we film it at Spotify. And it's where, so back to the thing about like trend predicting, I was going viral in like 2023, 2024, making all these trend prediction videos. And then I was like, let me just put my mouth where my money is or my money where my mouth is. And like, let me just show if I can actually do it, if I can interview people right before they blow up. So then I was like, let me just start a show. And then I did, so then I just wanted to do a show in a movie theater because I love movie theaters. And I was like, how does no one have a show in a movie theater? The reason is it's actually logistically kind of hard to figure out. It's
Okay.
like, there's just a lot of moving parts. But so I have the show Middle Row with Coco Mocoe, where every episode I interview artists as we break down their music videos, and it's artists that I think are like about to take off. And then sometimes it's more established
Yeah,
ones.
recently was Eli, Journey
Yes,
of a
Journey
Doll.
Yes.
Obsessed. And that was really good.
Yeah, she had been getting shout outs from like Troye Sivan, Doechii. That's why I
Meghan
reached out to her.
Trainor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was
And
like,
that
oh,
was
she's breaking that
crazy.
snow globe.
What do you think like happened there? Like,
I mean, well, I also just think with Eli, the music was really good. So if you guys are listening on like a music platform, it's Girl of Your Dreams is like the song that was really popping off for her. And I think the music was actually just really good. Like, I was on a panel a few years ago and someone on the panel said something so smart. They're like, you like talking about marketing. They're like, you can't make people want to buy things. You have to make things people want to buy. Like marketing can only go so far. Like you have to still make a good product. So like, I think Eli just made a really good song. And then, you know, a lot of it is luck that the stars align at the right time. And then Doechii.
and it was like the aesthetics, like,
yeah.
you know, the Y2K of it all. And Marianne is a good song too of
Yes.
hers. Like, it was like a moment where like all of these, I told you about it, like all of these artists were like using the song. And I think like as musicians, and we were just, when we were talking to Empress of earlier, like she's like, I'm an artist, I'm not a influencer or content creator, you know. And it's like it's just that kind of world where it's like you also need to like pimp out your stuff, unfortunately.
know.
But then it's like, how do you not lose like that artistry? And then we were talking about like, you know, maybe is it like, do we not want to look like we're trying too hard or whatever? And we were talking about your stories the other day, which snowballed into like Mish talking about like the creator, about, you know, and Coco Mocoe. And I had watched a bunch of videos before and where they were like, people are going to hate what you're going to make, and who cares, because like they've never taken a risk before in their lives, or they've never bet on themselves, you know. And you had this like Instagram story the other day talking about like, I don't know exactly what happened.
Yes. Oh, it was just my Instagram comments were like, you try too hard now. You try too hard to be cool. You try this, you try that. I was like, first of all, I went to San Diego State. I've been cool. Like that was, I got a
they were like,
degree
you're
in
trying to be
being
the
cool.
cool girl. That
But I
was a good read.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not.
I've
They were
been a
like, you're
cool
trying to be
girl.
an it girl. I was like, I'm not an it girl. I'm that girl. But like,
I'm
but the
so
logistic,
dead.
yeah. But me and my friends were just making that joke because they were commenting it at a festival. But like in the words of Addison Rae, she once said in her interview, I think it was with like Quinlan Blackwell, she was like, people always say you try too hard, you try too hard. And she's like, well, maybe you should try a little harder because we can tell you're not. And I was like,
no, you said that too, where
That's
you're
what
like,
it is, like,
why are you not trying
why aren't you
harder?
trying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying. Sorry, I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you want me to
And,
do?
like, when I
I'm
saw
trying.
her, she
Yeah.
like parked earlier, and I was like, I tried really hard on my outfit for you today, Coco.
Like, yeah, exactly. I was like, we should be trying. Like,
Well,
you guys should be grateful I'm trying.
That guy from The Diary of the CEO was just saying like the price of entry is cringe. Like you have
Yes.
to make people cringe. Like you have to kind of be yourself. And I, you know, it's funny now because like I'll look at people and be like, oh no, babes, you cringe for free. I cringe for a check. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
good.
Cut the
Write
check.
that
No,
down,
we're
write that
all,
down.
we're
Yeah.
always like,
yeah, I'm like, no.
cut the
When I'm
check.
cringe, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
When
we're
you're
aware of
cringe-
it. We're aware of it.
And it's not to like say like I'm getting paid, but it's literally like you're like, you know, like you're talking so much shit. And yeah, we're aware of it. I'm aware that I'm in a fucking duck costume and I'm like swimming in a pond for a check, but like I gotta pay my bills, and that's the whole thing. So
And
while
it's
you're sitting
also
at home,
fun.
it is fun, you know, but like I
Yeah.
think that I'm not trying to be like I'm better than or anything like that, but it's like in order to get to what you want to do, you're going to look, if you watch any early Beyonce performances from like back in the day when Crazy in Love came out, she was not hitting her marks. Beyonce was not hitting her things. She was giving a little too hard.
interviews were a little
swinging a little too hard.
awkward.
Yes.
Like, and I'm talking about somebody who would like, I will go into, I'm part of the Beehive. I will go and spend
Yes.
time, you know, protecting her in the comment section that she doesn't care about. But like, she now is like the celebrity of celebrities, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, and another thing that I tell people too is that I'm like, if you look at somebody like a Kim K, who is maybe universally recognized as the influencer, maybe Paris Hilton or Kim K, but I'm like, you can't be afraid to be ugly, and I've been saying this for years, and you can't be afraid of getting canceled, unfortunately. And I'm like, look at how many times those girls have been canceled, and look at how much of their ugly we've seen. I mean, we've seen their hoo-has at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. You'll live, you'll survive. Go do what you want to do if you want to do it. Because on the flip side, cut to like a 10-year career now at this point, and we talk about all the time feeling like the the Warner Brother frog.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
know?
what's
A
that?
little
What's
tap
that?
dancing. Hello, my baby.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, my honey.
Like, just constantly, like Taylor Swift, the life of a showgirl.
Yeah.
Like I say, like I'm a retired internet showgirl or washed up internet showgirl. Not derogatory, just like silly goofy.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I feel like we've been performing, but
Yeah.
it's because in the beginning we didn't give a fuck about
Yeah.
like whether we were making a silly face or whatever it was. Like, and I feel like I think what they were saying for you, like you're trying to be this and that. Like I see you in your outfits. I see you at these premieres. Like that's what they think is trying too hard. Like you look amazing.
Thank
like, you.
you.
Look fabulous.
Thank you.
And it's this thing that I realized that when people first meet us, they create this version of us and file it in their brains. And then when we show up differently, whether we cut our hair or like, lose weight or gain weight or whatever it is, change our bodies, it like cracks something in their brain where they have to reassess their version of us, which like disrupts their own comfort. And I find that too with like family members or partners or like other friends who are kind of like frenemies. And it's like, why aren't you trying harder? Like, why am I polarizing to you when like you have accessibility to what I'm doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that's a lot of people's kind of like challenge with starting to be a creator influencer is they don't want to look like they're trying too hard. So like, what would you say to them?
I'd be like, I would be worried if you look like you're not trying enough. Like, yeah, you should try hard. Like, put yourself out there, swing and miss a million times. Like, I think even for me, I've been doing this for probably 3 or 4 years because, I wasn't on camera at BuzzFeed. But like, I have like over 1 million followers because maybe only 5% of what I do works. That other 95%, I'm like swinging and missing and no one's watching it, but I'm still showing up. Like
I love that.
you should be, like you really should be trying. Like when I always think in analogies, and I did all-star cheer growing up, and when you're learning new flips, they always say like you're gonna learn 95 ways or 99 ways to fall before you learn how to land. Like the first thing they teach you when you start cheer is how to fall. Like they like land on your knees, don't put your elbows straight out. Like they spend lessons teaching you how to fall before they start teaching you the tricks.
That.
Right.
I'm also an
get into
analogy
that.
person too.
Me too. I think in analogies. I'm like,
same.
yes.
Me too. I always tell
should we
people
get into
like
cheer?
the what?
Oh, should we get into cheer?
To cheer?
Cheerleading.
Cheerleading?
Oh, cheerleading. I wanted to. Oh my God, I wanted to. And I was going to sign up that day on a Tuesday afternoon. And I saw them practicing and flipping and running around. And I was like, nope, not for me.
It's hard.
You have to run.
Yeah, it's
I
so
thought it was
good.
going to be like, okay, all right, cute little uniform.
Yeah.
Like, bring it on.
Being a part of a cool team. I didn't realize I had to sweat. So I was like, I'm not. Or carry the girls. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like carrying the girls. Like, not in a quince, not in a fucking cheerleading squad. Like, I'm not doing this. But, oh man, I wanted to ask you something.
Sorry.
I forgot. No,
No.
I went back to cheerleading in my brain.
Analogies.
Oh, failing.
Analogies
Yeah.
and failing. Yeah. Because I'm always just like, I'm like, it's kind of not that serious. Like I had to like I had a kid where I had to watch a shit ton of content a lot, just like studying, just watching and being like, there's so many creatives out there who have millions of followers who are truly just not even putting that much thought into it. They're just releasing stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And sometimes they're just like copy and pasting. That's all it is. And so it's like, find your thing, copy and so right now my thing that I tell people is I say like experiment with your content, find the signal. Once you find it, copy and paste.
Exactly. Until it runs dry and it's going to feel annoying to you.
Yeah.
That's how you grow.
Exactly.
Repeat.
Well, because what we're seeing too, like one of my other besties, Chantel Houston, who was on Ladylike, she builds platforms for a living, and we're like, if one video, let's say you're wearing this pink suit and you're dancing around and that's your thing, you wear pink and people go to your page, they're going to want to see more videos of you wearing this pink dancing around. But if you just have that one off, like they're going to be like, oh, it's not what I thought it was. But you won't get there unless you're experimenting and trying. So I think that to your point, I really think that it is. I love that so much because that even feels good for me. Like, you're fucking right. I am going to go home and fucking swing a bunch of times and not fall on my elbows and bend my knees and not
Exactly. Yeah.
cover
Learn
my
to
head.
fall. Yeah. That's truly what it is like, and the repeating is so important. I think I learned that even like at BuzzFeed, because we would have to grow all these random offshoot, like a vegan food account. And like, what do I know about vegan food? Nothing.
Yeah.
And it would be like you just find one format that worked once and have them do it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But that's like what works.
It's what
If it's
works.
boring to you, then it's probably working is how it is. Like you
Okay,
can still
interesting.
enjoy it, but like it has to be repetitive. There's this one guy right now that's growing so much on TikTok, and I just realized that he follows me, and I was like, I was so honored. And he basically was on stage with Ian at Lollapalooza, the guy that did the song that's like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
it's like
yes, yeah.
Rolling in the Deep, I Feel Like Adele. That
yeah.
song, he did the Double XL. It's this rapper. And there's this guy that made this song popular where he just like jumps on the beat. And now he's like on stage with Ian. He's like doing it with all these celebrities. It's the same song on his TikTok. For the last month, he's done that one audio over and over.
And it's like a trend,
over.
too.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's all he does. And he's millions of followers. One trend over and over.
That's what it is. And then there's also just like the fact if you're fucking hot, I guess that
I
works
know.
too. That's upsetting
It
to me.
didn't help me. And I was kind of
I
like,
was like, it hasn't helped me at all.
But like,
I get
We'll
so
see.
mad, by the way, because like on like gay Instagram shit, like it's all these hot men who just post all these sexy photos. They don't say a single fucking word. And then they have all the followers. And I'm always like, talk. Let's hear your voice.
yeah,
And
let's
they're
hear
like,
your opinion
Let's
on
see how
something.
many people like you after they hear your stupid ass voice and stupid ass opinions.
I wish it was I've never grown from like a hot photo. I'm like, I wish.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's get into the astrology portion of the podcast because Homegirl knows her astrology.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't realize that was your bread and butter for a long time. And that's kind of like my bread and butter right now, which is
Really,
great.
it's so good.
I mean, I'll bother you later, but like I kind of stumbled upon it because I just was like, just throw away videos. Like I really don't give a shit. This is what I think. And then people are like, skirt.
Yeah, because it's like your
People love
opinion
it.
on the signs versus like, this is what you
Yeah.
know, is happening for Leos.
But is that what you, because for me, I try not to watch anything. Or how were you doing it?
Because I got into TikTok because I loved like tarot and stuff, and then like me and my friends would do tarot for fun, and then like but I understood. I always feel like I'm good at knowing my lane. I would make astrology videos, and I would preface like I'm not an expert. Like there are people that are experts that like
Yes, that's me,
study this,
yes.
like. That's not me. I'm just doing it for fun. So yeah, I just. But astrology to me is fascinating. I think astrologers are like, you know, they study patterns and behaviors, and I think that's something that like
That's
I do
what I
too.
like.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I try not to watch anything, and what I do is I think about every area. What's your sign? By the way? I know we have it.
her big three
Yeah, what are your big
is, are you
threes?
ready? Aquarius, Moon.
Sun.
Oh, Sun. Oh, they
Oh.
put it. They
Oh,
did it
yeah.
wrong. Aquarius, Sun, Gemini, Moon.
Yes.
Rising Sagittarius.
Wow. How do you get any of your tasks done? Feel like
I
I'd
know, I'm
be,
so
floating
air.
around. Yeah.
I know. I also want to hear what you were saying too, but the Gemini moon makes so much. Well, Aquarius makes sense because I'm so like the moment something's popular, I'm like I don't want it. Like I need to be different. That's the Aquarius. But like the Gemini moon makes sense because like moon, I think of it as where you get your confidence. Gemini rules the third house, and it's the sign of like technology, algorithms, communication, and like I get my confidence through understanding algorithms.
Wow.
The way
you
people
literally
communicate.
Destined in the stars.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Sag rising is just, I think Sag is just like the good luck one.
It's like the showgirl, too.
Yeah,
Also,
Yeah.
you, Empress, and Mish are going to be the trifecta because Mish is Gemini,
Gemini.
Empress is Libra,
And I'm Aquarius.
and you're Aquarius.
Yes, air signs, yes.
We're all having lunch later, guys.
I know, but to your point about like not watching, I don't know if this is what you're getting at, but like I did this too when I would do like astrology, trend prediction, pop culture videos, whatever. I cannot watch people in my niche,
can't.
and I'm friends with them. I
Same.
love them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out to dinner with them every night, and I tell them I love them, and they'll talk their videos through me in person. They know I can't watch their videos. I cannot watch people's
Yeah.
videos in my niche because I'll subconsciously like internalize it. I'll compare myself, but I'm afraid that I'm going to copy them. And I
That's
don't
the
want to
thing
copy
too, because
them.
even with us, like we're best friends, and sometimes I can feel that I'm like, oh shit, I feel like that came from something Maya said 6 years ago.
We're blended.
bad.
We're
Our
Yeah.
blended
brains
in
are
so
blended
many
at
different
this
ways.
point.
But I always want to give other creatives their credit. You know
Same.
what I
I
mean?
always try to give credit.
And like I don't want to like ever and it's hard to create then, right? Because you're creating from the heart in a lot of different ways. You have to
Yeah.
write, and when you're pushing this content out, it's coming from a very organic place, not because you're inspired or you're like aggregating different ideas, right? So
Yeah.
like, to your point, not watching, I love that you do that as well. I do sometimes will look at like, if it's somebody else, like let's say like we were talking to Empress and we were talking about music, I'm like, oh, let me go look at other musicians and see what we're doing. But to your
Yes.
point, in my own niche, like I just won't. I love that my dad's an Aquarius, and I love that you said that if it's popular, I don't want it, because I think I got that from my dad too. If it's cool, I don't care, I don't want it. I'm gonna go do this and be in my own lane.
Exactly. To our own detriment. I'm like, okay, fine, I can admit Taylor Swift has good music, but I'm like, she's so popular.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I have to find the
Why am
next
I the
thing,
same
you
way?
know? But I cannot watch people in my niche, but I also believe there's this concept that not this episode being like so spiritual, like woo woo, but like
Oh
No,
yeah,
woo,
it's very
woo.
us.
No,
It's
no,
very,
very
it's very our
woo.
brand. Yeah.
There's this concept that was spoken about in this book, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love and made
I
like
love
20
Elizabeth
million from it.
Gilbert, yes.
Yeah, so she has a book called Big Magic. And then also Rick Rubin wrote a book called The Creative Act, I think. And so I read both books and it was interesting because they both talked about it, where they basically have this belief that there's this cloud that exists. And like,
Your mom talks about this too.
yes, where like say there'll be an idea. Say like the fact that Hot Ones and Chicken Shop Date exists and got popular at the same time, I think it came from the same cloud. So
Yes.
what they say is that like say there's an idea, okay, there's going to be a popular show in the late 2010s and 2020s about celebrities eating chicken. It'll be floating around the universe like a cloud, and it's waiting for someone to bring it to life, and it'll go to someone. And if that person is trying to bring it to life, it might stick with them. If that person isn't working at it, it'll bounce to someone either in their network
Yeah.
or near them. And until that idea, it's basically like the idea is ready to come to life. Whoever has like a rain bucket ready to catch it. And Elizabeth Gilbert in her book said that she had this idea for a book. It was a fiction book about like nurses in Brazil during World War II. And she got this huge stipend to write it because of the success of Eat, Pray, Love. She could not write it for the life of her. It just was not, she had a writer's block. She went to a convention, saw a friend, hugged her. They didn't talk about the book. Years later, that friend puts out a book. It becomes a bestseller, and it was about nurses in Brazil during the World War II.
Wow.
And she calls her up. She's like, whoa, this is so crazy. Like, how'd you get that idea? She's like, it's so crazy. When I saw you at that convention, it like came to me. And Elizabeth was like, what if this cloud jumped from me to her? Was like, you're not going to bring me to life, but I'm going to come to life somehow.
Michael Jackson used to talk
They
about
had
that with
that,
Prince,
yes.
where he would say Michael Jackson needed to hop on something because he was worried that Prince would get on it. And so I have this thing where when I think of something, I try to bury it, because my weird thought is that if I don't think about it, I won't breathe life into it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I won't breathe life into it. So I kind of like nurture it and I hide it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm very big on that idea too, that like, people, we're all pulling from the same source. Your mom says that all the time, where she's like, different ideas,
It's
like
going to go to
they'll
somebody
wait
else
for
if you
you.
don't
Yeah.
act on it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Gilbert also talks about when the inspiration hits. I love her, by the way.
Okay.
She has an incredible TED Talk
Yeah.
where she talks about creativity, which I highly recommend people listen to. If you haven't seen it, I think you should watch it. She talks about how there was a friend who was a poet, and sometimes the inspiration would hit her when she was far away from paper. And so they would do this thing where like, come at a better time. Or she would do this thing where she would start running from the paper, and as she felt the poem leaving her, she would write the poem from end to beginning as if she was pulling it back from like its tail, and like writing it down so that she would have it. And so I think like, creatives, we do have that thing where we all are in tune with each other. And I think that for me, the reason why I think so many people have anxiety or depression or different thoughts is that we are all small universes that are meant to create in a lot of different ways. And if we are creating, no matter what it is, like you'll at least have, I think, a semblance of happiness, some capacity.
Yeah.
So like kind of going back to what we were saying earlier, like just shoot your shot.
Curly's
Just
a
do it.
Virgo.
Virgo
that was so
energy,
good. Virgo.
Double
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Oh, really? Okay, so you have a lot of that, like that one time of year, which is like fall, summer-ish.
Coming
Oh,
up.
tell me, what do you mean? Oh, you mean like I'm a circle,
It's
like
probably a stellium on one side of the chart.
Yes, I hear that
Yeah,
word all the
you are.
time with
You're
me.
a Scorpio stellium or Virgo stellium?
I think of Virgo stellium.
Because your Venus is
Virgo.
Virgo.
My Mercury's in Virgo. It's mostly all Scorpio and Virgo.
Okay.
But I'm just really like, I feel like I'm like, I call myself a B-type Virgo. I'm a pick-me Virgo. Because I'm not like, everything has to be perfect. I'm very much like, I don't give a shit. Like, you know this. I'm like, whatever. There's certain things that I care about, but there's other, I have an opinion on things. But I don't really
love
care.
that. And we need to bring back opinions because that's what kills me, especially in the pop culture world, is like, no one has a fucking opinion on anything. They're just like, Taylor Swift's popular right now. I think everything she does is great and it's amazing. And I'm like, what's your opinion? Like, no one has an opinion. Everyone's afraid of having the wrong opinion.
You're so right. I mean,
Bring
I don't
back
understand
opinions.
Taylor, to be honest. I don't get it because I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Can I just free
talking about Taylor
free
right
ball,
now?
free space?
What's Taylor's Sagittarius?
She's Sag and then a bunch of Scorpio, I think.
Okay.
Free ball, safe space is what I meant to say.
Okay.
I don't understand her lyricism. People are like, her lyrics are just so amazing. And I'm like, I think I could maybe do that.
She's like, I was walking in the park and you were there in the park and I said, what are you
Yes.
doing in
And
the
then just
park?
like her
And then
voice
come
agility.
out.
Like, I'm like, have y'all heard Jasmine Sullivan sing? Or are we living in the
I
same world?
don't think she's a vocalist at all.
Right.
I
don't
think
she's
she's a great poet and lyricist.
Yeah.
I think there's just like a lot of it. And I think the culture she has created sometimes, like, I mean, maybe she's not responsible for her fandom as much, but I just can't like fuck with it because of the fandom.
The fandom scares me. And I think Taylor's fandom is one of their, well, I think a lot of their fandoms is the reason there's no more opinions in pop culture because you could say like one thing and it's like, oh my God, like you want them dead. It's like, no, I just had an opinion. If anything, it's a sign of respect to the artist that you're like, I'm actually like, I like this, what you've done. Maybe this one thing I didn't like. Like, like they're not a monolith.
The fandom ruins it sometimes.
Yes, it does.
Where I know a lot of my close friends are T Swift fans, and I love 1989.
Okay,
like that's like my album, and I'm excited for her music and stuff. But I just feel like every time something comes out, I'm like, ay, no puedo, I can't, because it's always like, oh my God, and I'm like, yeah, I know that's how we look like.
Right?
Her last showgirl or Life of a Showgirl.
Life of a Showgirl, and like I know that's how we look when anything Beyonce happens, but I'm like, it's a movement.
Like, these motherfuckers ain't stopping
Beyonce is a movement. Like it's different. It's cultural. It's spiritual.
Don't even get me started.
It's woo woo. Like,
but also too, like you can be critical. Literally, people are like, I don't like her music. I'm like, but you can still like honor like the craftsmanship that she practices. So like Taylor, I don't like her music, but I'm happy she exists.
Sorry, the astrology turned into
no pop culture.
Opinions. I'm sorry.
Quick sidebar. No. You know who I feel that way about too? Who I don't understand it, but I'm so happy he exists. Is Bruno Mars. Like I feel nothing happens.
Can I say something about Bruno Mars? I went to a Bruno Mars concert last year and it was one of the most intense, crazy crowds, like in terms of fighting.
What?
Like
I can see that.
Was like, Bruno Mars.
I know, I can feel that. I can see that.
It was a weird energy. Like his crowd was the weirdest energy I've ever seen. I was like, what?
Why
like,
is everybody fighting?
Yeah, maybe it's because they're
music.
like older millennials, and so they were like drinking and like. It was like
Older millennials.
Yes, no, they were into. I was like, Bruno Mars. Why are you guys like fist fighting to Bruno Mars?
It's a damn cold night.
I don't think that's him.
That's Avril Lavigne. What are you doing?
Song. I was trying to think of the Lady Gaga song.
Versace on the floor.
If the world was ending. Which I will say I was there song. And it was I got to see that song perform for the first time. So it was very cool. But all the people that were fist fighting left the venue or got kicked out before they even got to see Lady Gaga come on. So I was like, that's what you get for being crazy at Bruno Mars.
Toodaloo.
It's a damn cold
Okay, let's get one astrology question in. You wanted to ask like what sign do you not fuck with?
Oh yeah, which is the sign that you feel
have
I have
an
three.
opinion. You can have an opinion, safe space.
Yeah, I have three. Who is the sign that you're like, I feel like I'm like, girl, get it together. On today's episode of Girl, Get It Together, which sign do you think?
You know, Aquarius men, first of all, have always done me dirty. But I will say, I don't know. It's not that I don't F with them. I just don't know any Libras. I think you said Empresses. I could name this many Libras in my life. I have so many Leos in my life.
Yes. Okay,
for
watch
some
them
reason,
come
Leo
now, by the way.
Watch what?
Watch them come now, by the way.
Come.
I said that 4 months ago,
And now they're in your life.
They're all over me.
I'm
They're
like, was no one born in September or like early October? Like, where are the Libras? Yeah. I just don't know any.
Yeah. Now, literally, you
They're
saying
gonna
that now,
come.
she's on her way. She's
Oh
probably
my
outside.
God. Okay, there we go. She's outside. But like in terms of like the men that have done me the most dirty are Aquarius men. So like straight Aquarius men are always.
I know. You know what? The guy who kind of triggered my alcohol problem in my teens was Aquarius. Yeah.
Oh, Aquarius.
I just want to say Sagittarius men are evil.
Do they exist? I've never met a
disgusting.
Sag men.
They're evil and disgusting. They exist because they terrorize me. That's why they call them Sagittarius. They call them Sagittarius because they terrorize your heart. Okay.
I just feel like straight men are never Sagittarius.
I feel like straight men.
Like, why would a man be
Except
there?
for Gadiel.
Any zodiac on the
Gadiel.
sign.
Okay.
Gadiel's a Sagittarius.
Every time I post any video about any sign and they're like, oh, this Pisces or Virgo, this or whatever, I'm like, and the minute they bring up straight men, I'm like, oh, you're not talking about
they
femmes
don't
and
count.
queer people and women. Like, you're talking about straight men. Like, and they are, to me in my head, are going to represent, you know, the tarot when you get the flipped version of it.
Yes, they're
in
always
reverse.
reversed.
To me, the man version, every zodiac
Everything is
sign,
reversed.
everything is reversed.
Or
So
they're
it's
the
like,
Tower card or the Devil card.
Yeah.
Or like.
I know because
like-
straight men, yeah.
straight male Virgos, like my signs, they're insane. I'm like, what? Because okay, like
love
we're an
them.
insecure sign. So the thing with us is that like we're confident, but we're very critical of ourselves. And what we'll do is we'll project that criticism onto the people around us and who we love. Like, oh, that's an interesting pair of shoes you decided to throw on today.
With these?
But it's like, you know, it's like no one's fucking business, right? So like when the Virgo kind of gets a little bit more therapy and gets better, he'll learn that those are exactly the shoes she wanted to wear, and that's fine. But I think to me, the earth signs, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus, I'm like, get it together.
Boo. And that concludes the astrology portion of the podcast. Coco Mocoe.
Thank you for having me.
Wow,
Oh
Coco
my
Mocoe.
gosh. I feel like we could talk for hours.
I
You
know.
definitely have to come back for
Well, we
sure.
are.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If they want me, I'm here.
For
Yes.
sure. We want you all the time.
my
And then
God.
we literally are going to go have some coffee somewhere
exactly.
right now. So thank you so much for joining us today. Where can people find you on social media?
Honestly, whatever socials you prefer, Coco Mocoe, if you just search it, I'll probably be there.
That's COCO.
And your show.
But
Oh,
go
yes, yes,
support
yes.
my show is Spotify on YouTube and Spotify Middle Row with Coco Mocoe. And maybe comment what artist you think's about to take off that I'll interview.
Yay! Yeah, comment my name.
Yeah,
I'm about
comment
to
mine.
take off too.
What about you, Curly? Where can they
Oh.
find you?
People can find me on The Curly V Show on TikTok and Instagram. Maya, where can people find you?
You can find me at Maya in the Moment, MAYA in the Moment, anywhere you scroll. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Super Secret Bestie Club podcast. Did I say that wrong?
Coco Mocoe.
Coco Mocoe.
Coco
Coco
Mocoe.
Mocoe.
It's a moco with some coco. Loco.
Bye.
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 Make sure to hit that subscribe button to hear more episodes every single week. The Super Secret Bestie Club podcast is a production of Sonoro in partnership with iHeartRadio's My Cultura podcast network.
For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.